barefoot.
How's it going there? Welcome back. No, welcome back, Ed. No, Ed, you were here. Welcome back, me.
Welcome back, you. Hi. Welcome back, Cotter.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. I knew there wasn't a reason I wasn't singing. A cappella.
How about that stock market? Like,
wow. The shorts a week and a half ago, the shorts were in control, and now a week and a half later, they wish they never even heard of shorting.
Well,
although today we got some
little tumbleweed.
Little tumbleweed.
Yeah. Little tumbleweed in the old space. Here, let's try to pull up some of our. What do we got here? I've got all the wrong things up
Gold
here.
stocks that I'm following aren't participating very well.
No, the gold stocks are a bit of a disaster, that's for sure. But let's see here. Let's see, where's the portfolio? No, we want the boy, just as organized as ever over here. Got the wrong.
What was your trip to Smith Falls?
Smith Falls was amazing.
Yeah. What do you think, looking at that state-of-the-art facility? Is that?
I think Canopy Growth is going to be a very expensive stock.
Well, it's by some accounts, it's expensive already.
Well, it's all relative, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, no, that's right. But for Canada, a $12 billion company is.
12 billion. Do you know what the market cap is now, fully diluted? By one person's estimate.
Okay, 16 billion.
By one person's estimate, and this I get through a friend of 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 a friend. Anyways, this guy does some.
I was going to say bonanza.
Anyways, he says that fully diluted, the Canopy is actually at $32 billion.
If everything gets exercised?
If everything fully diluted. So that includes the Haiku shares, all of that stuff.
Yeah, wow.
So $32 billion. $32 billion, Ed. Did I say $32 billion? That's a pretty big number.
As Apple just crossed over the trillion mark, 32 seems paltry.
Well, true.
I jest.
Here's a question for you. Where's Apple's cannabis play? Whoa! Apples, cannabis, they're both grown agricultural products. How could they not be in the game? Could you imagine it? MedMen is already imitating Apple stores.
Has anybody thought of a way of getting right in an app? Buy an apple, and you take a bite and.
You mean like supercharged apples?
Well, that was the kind of apple that was in the Garden of Eden, wasn't it?
Oh. Maybe that's true.
Don't eat of this tree. Don't eat of this tree.
Of this tree, eat not.
And the viper was there. Come on, little lady.
Get in here. Let me give you a little bite.
As your punishment for making Adam eat, we're going to make you slither around for the rest of your forever.
That explains a lot.
So that snake originally had feet, I think.
Oh, really? You know what I got here, Ed?
A lot of snakes on Bay Street with feet.
You know what I got right here?
I'm going to say that's a radio. It's an old-time radio.
No, sir, it is not.
There's dials. Look at Hello?
What does it say on the bottom?
It says Grand Patron. Oh.
Grand Patron.
That's...
¿Sabes por qué yo tengo esto aquí? Porque vamos a tener el presidente de México, Vicente Fox.
Tony Montana.
The former president of Mexico, Vicente Fox, is threatening to visit us tomorrow. Why? Why, you might ask? Oh, wow. Wait, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to disclose this yet.
Now, I understand he's on the board of a certain South American marijuana company.
Has that been announced?
Yes, it has.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, so it has been announced that Vicente Fox has joined the board of Chiron.
Yeah.
Why is this significant? Well,
you think he's got some connections?
How many people live in Mexico? 180 million?
Is it 180 million?
180 million. Let's look this up.
They say there's more people living in Mexico City than there are in Canada.
Yeah, so California is the biggest market?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, but I think Mexico City's already a mature market.
Mature market?
Yeah.
Ellos gustan a fumar el marihuana? I think they do. I think they do. In fact, there's a very interesting story in the whole historical timeline of cannabis that Mexico played a very, very prominent role
Right.
in the evolution of cannabis to. Oh, what's that? It's their little GoPro.
What's it saying?
I think it said. I think it was saying low battery, and now it's saying, "Sorry, I'm out of batteries." Anyways,
Okay.
don't know why that's in there. But anyways, so Senor Vicente Fox.
Wow.
If he deigns to join us tomorrow, this is what I am going to open in his honor. And we.
Well, that's a color of tequila that I am not familiar with, because I think this is this looks like a very expensive bottle.
This is muy caro, muy caro.
Muy caro?
Muy caro, very expensive. This is, there are only 3 of these bottles ever imported into Ontario. And so this bottle is let's just say this is the most expensive bottle of tequila I've ever bought or laid eyes on. I'm really excited to try it. So
you bought it, but did you pay for it?
I haven't actually paid for it yet.
There you go.
Delivered
bought and not paid for.
Bought and not paid for.
Well, let's drink it and say, you know what?
There is a hole in this bottle.
And this bottle does not live up to my standards, so you know what? Keep your bottle.
And we'll be like, lo siento,
you know what? Or
Fox.
drink it and then pour in some tequila sosa, whatever it is, the real bar standard, bar level. The white stuff inside. I don't know.
No. Like I said, this is reserved for El Presidente Vicente Fox.
You know, he used to be the head guy for Coca-Cola in South America.
I knew that.
And he's a handsome character.
He's a good-looking dude.
He's a good-looking dude.
He's a good-looking hombre.
He was president for what, 7 or 8 years, I think?
I'm actually not that familiar with his tenure as president because, I remember he was one of the most colorful presidents.
A bit of a, you know what? Let's reserve for comments for after the meeting.
That's true.
You know what?
We don't want him getting angry at us.
Well, we want him showing up.
We want him to come.
Yeah.
We want him to. We want him to come and have a glass of this tequila with us.
Wow.
So that's tomorrow, people. Vicente Fox is going to be here to talk about his new role as the director of Chiron, and Chiron, K-H-R-N on the CSE, was our client. They're no longer our client because I think we've run the course of their engagement.
We have.
Yeah. So now we can say anything we want about them without fear
and it hasn't. There's been
Let's pull up a Chiron chart right now. I want to see how it reacted to the news of Vicente Fox's joining of the company.
Yeah, but that was announced. That was announced 2 weeks ago.
No.
Yes.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. Where were you?
Where was I? How can something like that happen and I don't know about it? That would be a miracle.
That's not Chiron.
That's Chiron.
Okay, let's. I could quickly look at my phone, but that's a no-no.
No, you want candlesticks. We'll get candlesticks.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what we're going to do here, actually, Ed? I'm going to bring in the advanced chart. Even though, tomorrow you're going to be running your own charts. Why is that?
Yeah, because we've got new hardware in the
new
hardware equipped with new software.
New software.
State of the art, I may add.
State of the art.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's add some overlays here. Let's go with Bollinger Bands.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's, we got the simple 50 and 20. Let's go with, we want to add volume here. We're going to add relative strength. There we go. Now there's our technical analysis. Now look at.
Now because of just a point here, we don't need to, if we could somehow do a 3-month chart, we'd get all the information we need because
there you go.
That's what we want.
3-month chart. Just see. Ask and ye shall
receive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
So the market did not react. Is that the spike I see at the beginning of August? This green bar over here, that is the advent of Senor Fox's joining of the company. You know what I'm going to do?
I gotta say, I kind of remember saying to Peter Cunningham, Peter being a friend of mine, I said, Peter, I would have thought that kind of news would have been, but it was right in the middle of that sort of swoon in the cannabis space when everything was falling dramatically.
Right.
And I think the timing could have been well. You got to announce what you got to announce. Okay, let's see here. Keep going. August the 7th.
Ed.
There it is.
Oh, there it is. July 17th.
Oh, I was wrong.
Former Mexican President Vicente Fox to Board of Directors.
4 weeks ago.
4 weeks ago. So that just went right over the market's head because, okay, let's go back to the technical analysis.
Let's go back to, when is July 17th? July 17th is right there. Yeah, right here. That's the day. Well, it was a pretty good inside-outside day.
Yeah, but, I mean, really, the market has missed the significance of this. So let's just say, hey, Mr. Market, you big bloody idiot. Don't you understand that Vicente Fox is probably one of the most influential people that you could possibly have spearheading your campaign to distribute marijuana to all of the Mexican people who want to access it? So let's say there's 132 million people there. What is that number? Actually, can we get research to quickly look up what the population of Mexico is there in the control
Not the Mexico, the country, not the city.
Well, the city's probably half the country. No.
No.
The city is one of the top 10 largest cities in the world.
Some people argue it's the biggest.
Is it really?
Well,
how do they argue that?
I don't know.
The largest city in the world by population?
They say when you add up all the people, there's so many people you can't count them all.
No kidding.
That's what they keep moving around. Probably get double counted.
That's amazing.
I've always wondered about that.
You know what we're going to do right now, Ed?
All right.
I am going to, watch this. I'm going to call the control room. You want to see how I do that? This is with our new 127.5 million people in Mexico. Thank you, Alex.
That's as of a couple years ago, I think. Yeah, wow.
Watch this. Now, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, you know who we're going to call?
Who? Ghostbusters.
No, not Ghostbusters. We're going to call the control room right now. Watch this. Hey, is that the control room? Look. What's going on?
I hear an echo.
Look, it's us. We're talking to ourselves, Ed. It's an echo. What's going on? I better drink this tequila right away.
You better drink that tequila so you'll feel normal.
Oh boy, that's just too confusing. But we now have the ability to talk to up to 4 people at the same time on Skype.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we can talk, like we can sort of...
Well, so I could talk to you over there. You could talk to Suzanne. We could all 4 of us be having a conversation, but it's going to be echoey like that. We actually technically should be in different locations.
Well, maybe we should talk in sign language.
Or in tongues.
Oh, but in tongues it would still be echoey, but that wouldn't matter because
Good point.
Nobody would recognize.
Morse code.
Is that Morse code or Morse code?
Like Morris the cat?
Or Morris, we won't mention.
Morris, who's that? Morris what? Anyway, so looking back at the Chiron chart.
Right.
Chiron did not participate in the rising tide of lifting all boats as a result of the constellation.
And then I think they got halted right a week ago to announce that they're doing a funding.
Yeah.
There's a gap. You see that gap there? Yeah. There's between that big. So they were getting going here.
Yeah.
Just getting going. Peak. A little bit of action.
Boy, you're going to really miss the new when you get your new computer running.
I know.
You're not going to be able to jump up there and point.
Hey.
You're going to be.
Okay. So
what are we seeing here technically?
I say the weight of a funding is put a lid on this thing temporarily.
So you're suggesting that nobody's going to buy it because they announced a financing?
Well, like why would you buy it here when you could buy it in financing and pick up a warrant too? That's just I'm not. Again, this is not judgmental, but that's some of the.
Well, what happens if they announce a deal with the biggest pharmacy group in Mexico for distribution of product?
Then people are going to wish because then nobody will be able to get the financing.
That's just it.
Well,
the financing will be
there. You go.
There you go. Off. What if Vicente Fox says, "Hey, he's going to give his buddy over in Brazil there a call, and we're going to bring Brazil on board."
Pros and cons.
Pros and cons.
I'm not saying you're a con.
I don't know if I like where this is going.
But I kind of consider you a bit of a icon.
Oh!
Icon.
Ooh, I like that, Ed.
Well,
thank you. Thank you.
welcome.
I've missed you. It's been, what, 2 days?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were up in Smiths Falls.
I know. I saw you wearing your bonnet. I thought that you should put a little tail on that bonnet.
You know,
You
that's
look
a
like
good idea.
Davy Crockett a bit.
Or like a Scotsman. I could be like playing the bagpipes.
You got your tam on. Okay.
All right, there we go. So Chiron,
Yeah.
I say, so Senor Fox is here for 2 days, starting today.
Yeah. What's his mission to go around and talk about the opportunity?
He is doing
probably visiting some capital markets guys. And
some capital markets guys are going to come and visit him because he's going to be holding court at First Canadian Place tomorrow.
yeah.
And we can't disclose the exact location because then it would be like
Then it wouldn't be a secret
the
anymore.
Mexican diaspora would descend upon it, seeking to catch a simple
Diaspora.
glimpse.
Oh, I love that word. I don't know what it means. That's one of the few words I don't know.
Diaspora. It's like a diaper that's been ripped open and its contents spread around through like wild flinging action.
Hey, look, I just see this Kronos going by. Wasn't that a big mover in the last week? That thing really participated as well as anything.
Yeah.
I think there's a good 50% there, wasn't there?
If you looked at the cannabis stocks yesterday, if you put them all on a list, there was maybe out of the 80 some odd issuers associated with cannabis listed in Canada, there was maybe 6 that were not green.
Yeah.
Maybe. Like even the most obscure, like we're going to make the little plastic.
But you know, as fast as they went up, this is puzzling to me.
Okay.
Like Emerald Health.
Yeah.
It was a real high flyer in the EMH. Maybe we can just throw that up.
Let's pull out BMH here.
Oh.
Oh.
Go back to a 1 year there, please.
All right.
1 year. Now look at that. Look at from $1 to $9, just beginning of the year, back down to $3, and then up to $5.
Geez, it's off 37 cents today.
Yeah, I know. That's
so there's a sector-wide blow-off happening. I guess that's pretty easy to. Here's the great thing.
But you know, they're not all moving pari passu.
Pari passu. Watch this. MLCCC at MLCC is going to give me, whoa, say it isn't so. Is that the Midas Letter Cannabis Composite Index up there on the big screen in technical glory?
Down 6%.
Yeah.
Is that the big one?
That's the big one. All 10 companies worth over $1 billion or over.
Okay, so that broke out into new territory.
It's trading. It just traded today back inside the Bollinger Band. So
how many?
This again, you know.
What do you got?
The
12 companies
I'm
in there?
learning here something, Ed, that you have taught me. And that is that the Bollinger Band so far never lies. If it's trading outside the Bollinger Band,
it's going back in.
It's a matter of time.
Yeah, and soon. Not. Now we saw it when I called that short on a couple weeks ago. You had a small opportunity the next morning. That was the night we went to the trust party.
Oh, right.
I said, you got a chance here on Tilroy. Well, you had half a day or a day. If you didn't cover,
you're
painful.
Painful. Yeah, well, a lot of people. I talked to a lot of people, and one individual I'm talking to was telling me that he almost lost his shirt.
It's a little bit of bare back, a little bare chest.
Where are you going with that, Ed?
I'm just saying.
We're running a G-rated show here. Don't forget.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Now you can get moves like this, but half the candle's in, here it's out, and it's in. But then,
Yeah, but look at
this. Look at this. Look at how it goes below, and you think, okay, the shorts are in control. Guess what? Right back.
Whoa. Yeah, well, that's...
Yeah, so these Bollinger Bands, and there's a book out by John Bollinger, and I'm sure he took other...
He wrote a book?
Yeah.
Jeez, a whole book on just those Bollinger 2 lines?
Well, it's pretty complicated.
Well,
in fact, I should read it again because it's not that simple. If something's going along like this, sideways, and then it breaks out, and the Bollinger Bands get violated...
violated.
Well, the Bollinger Bands are breached, say.
Yeah.
That's not the time to start shorting. The time to start shorting is when they've been riding the band up, and then they make a quantum move into almost hyperspace.
Outside the Bollinger Band.
Then after, because it's been up, up, up. So if it's moving sideways, it's sort of like, but put up, I'll show you exactly what I mean when you put up weed.
Weed.
Put up weed, because weed is the one that I thought best exemplifies. Look at this. I'll tell you, we are going to be techno.
Yeah, no, it's you're quite right. So you want to look at weed here. Where is weed? Weed. I can't believe it's not in the list, but
weed.
Oh. Weed. Weed is not a valid symbol.
No, that's because you got weed.
Oh, it doesn't have 3 E's.
No.
No matter how high you are.
No, you can't.
Okay, so weed.
Yeah.
Now look at that.
Yeah.
Is it not like it's almost like the large cap index is just a metaphor for weed. It's a proxy for weed.
Look at this thing. Look at this thing. This thing moved from oversold, and we pointed that out in the because the R right down here, right?
Yeah.
But not.
Well, yeah.
That's not what I'm looking at. That's not what I want to look at.
No? What do you want to look at?
Yeah, right here, down here.
Yeah.
And then now it's in this area, but.
So you're talking about down here.
Look at how it rode that upper band, right? And then, but it can only keep going because what would it? What was the RSI over 80? Next day.
80.
80.36.
And that's when it broke.
You see anything in that over 80 area or under 20, and I'm pretty sure Aurora got under 20 that same day.
So now, tell me this: are there a bunch of traders sitting at their computers all day and watching the RSI and the Bollinger Bands? And as soon as they see the Bollinger Bands,
there's about another 10 indicators as well that I'm. Look, I'm just.
Why would you need more than the Bollinger Band and the RSI?
Because you wanna.
Look at this. As soon as it starts trading out of the Bollinger Band, that should be your signal that there's an opportunity coming for a short. As soon as the RSI crosses 80, that's the time to go short if it's outside the Bollinger Band because it goes back in. Now this is just the observation of the last few sessions or last year. Is that generally the rule, or is this just a pattern that is particular to the cannabis industry?
Look at. I've looked at charts for 40 years.
Boy, you must.
40 years. Tired of looking at it. Tired.
That's why he suddenly had this renaissance moment and became like reborn Ed. I don't mean in the religious
You know
sense.
what? You know what? There's guys that swear by certain everybody has their own formula for what they want to say. Okay, if this happens, okay, then let's check this. Oh, this confirms that this is oversold as well or overbought. And you look at and the more indicators that confirm what you're looking for, you have a better case to, bring out the pink ticket and go against the crowd.
Look at this chart, Ed. Do you know Golden Leaf Holdings? I'll tell you about Golden Leaf Holdings. Golden Leaf Holdings has been a freaking disaster from day one. Starting with the promoter who was paying himself like 23 grand a month. They had so many 2-penny shares out there that nobody would go near this thing.
Is this a marijuana deal or is this a...
Well, this is a marijuana deal, but I got to tell you, I think that the tide has turned because I just interviewed a guy today, Ray Schiavone. Golden Leaf bought Ray Schiavone's company for $52 million, and Ray is the major supplier to all dispensaries in Nevada. Here's what Ray had to say today. Hey, welcome back to Midas Letter Live. My guest in this segment is Ray Schiavone. He's the CEO and co-founder of Tahoe Hydroponics Company. Ray, welcome.
Thank you, James. Pleasure to be here.
Ray, you are in the process of being acquired by Golden Leaf Holdings in a transaction worth 52.4 million Canadian dollars. Is this correct?
Correct.
Awesome. Okay, so tell me about your operation.
So my partner and I, we've been in the cannabis space for a while. In Nevada, it's been about four years now. We distribute to basically almost all the stores in Nevada. There's, I think, approximately 60 stores right now in the state of Nevada. We're in the majority of all of them. We also have a facility in Sacramento, so we're expanding in California, and then another 60,000 square feet in Nevada as well. We'll have about 120,000 feet total between both markets.
Okay. Great. And are you selling dried flower? Are you selling extracts or the whole 9 yards?
That's a good question. Just flower and joint pre-rolls for now.
Okay. Are you planning to add extracts to the mix?
Yeah. So, and that's part of the reason why we've joined forces with Golden Leaf. I mean, they're great at baking tons of different products. They have chews, candies, chocolates, oils, a number of different products, plus retail stores. So it's a nice fit for both of us.
Uh-huh. And how much revenue do you do currently?
Somewhere close to about $1 million a month. Somewhere between 900 grand and $1 million.
Oh, okay. Average. And what's your average sale price?
That is a great question. It really depends on the type of flower or the strain, if you will. Somewhere on the high side, 31, 32, and on the low side, if we have a ton of bulk, then somewhere closer to the mid 2,000 range.
I see. Okay, so what kind of gross margin would you say you're making there?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Between 40 and 60%.
Right. Okay, great. So are you guys planning to expand into other states as well? You're in California, Nevada now?
Correct. So we're in the process of expanding into California, which is where both of us are from, my partner Mark and I.
Oh, okay.
We have a facility in Sacramento, which is where I live, or used to live. And then so there's 30,000 feet there, and then we have another 60,000 feet in Sparks. So our current facility, which is in Carson City, is completely built out. We've outgrown that, so we're adding an additional 60,000 square feet in Sparks, which probably takes ground, in a month or two.
Very cool. And so are you in a position where you're basically selling everything you can grow?
Yeah, I would say that. We're actually harvesting every 6 days now, so it's kind of hard to stay out in front of it because we're producing it so quickly. But it's pretty much, I would say within a couple of weeks it's gone.
Is that right, eh? So what's the state of, supply and demand in Nevada right now? Like, is it a case where there's more demand than supply, or vice versa?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, and it's changing rather quickly. So I would have said, maybe 5 months ago that the demand was so high that we couldn't produce enough. And now there's more and more producers coming online that, there's a little bit of a shift. More guys are trying to enter the market and sell it as cheap as they can just to create revenue. So it's a combination of, new guys bringing down the price, and then they have guys like us that have a high quality product that are commanding a higher price. So the state of Nevada just came out with with their latest tax survey. So we're taxed on actually the dollar amount. So what that means is that they set the price at $2,800. So whatever the average price per pound is, then they aggregate 15% tax on that. So regardless if I sell for $2,400 or $3,000, we're taxed on a $2,800 pound. So I guess what I'm saying is that the state is saying that the average price per pound is $2,800 right now.
I see. And has that come down at all since the onset of regulations a year ago? Or no, it was just July, wasn't it? Literally,
yeah, this just came out and they just raised it to $2,800. So it was $2,200 6 months ago. So that, I guess the answer to your question is it's actually going up, but it sounds like the market is beginning to compress a little bit. So maybe in 6 months from now it might go back down a little bit, but it's actually much higher than it was even last year.
Interesting.
So yeah, it is interesting.
So would you say that the total tax burden to a retailer on top of what your cost is to produce it is 15%?
15% is our cost, and then there's an additional tax, but it's pretty much about the same.
So there's 15% tax on the grower, and then the retailer pays a percentage in tax of the retail price that he buys it for?
Correct. And, you know, there's also a 3% for the local authority. So we actually pay another 3% to Carson City as well.
I see. And what is the sales tax at the retail level?
That's a good question. I think it's around 10.
So 10, so 25, 20, so 28% is the total tax burden.
Yes, that's a nice number for the state.
Yeah. Okay. The reason I'm asking this is one of the issues that we're tracking here, Ray, is you know, the opportunities for unlicensed black market producers to compete with licensed producers is sort of very relative to the burden of tax that the consumer has to pay in addition, because a consumer will say at a certain level, oh, okay, if I'm only paying X% more, I'll buy it legally. But if I'm paying more than that, then I will continue to source from black market sources, all other things being equal. Now, in the state of Nevada, is it your experience that the illegitimate producers who are unable to get licensed are going to continue to be a serious part of the supply chain, regardless of the tax burden? Or do you think that most people are going to prefer to gravitate towards legitimate sources?
You know, I mean, these are great questions. I actually never really thought about it as far as Nevada goes. I mean, it's a huge topic as far as California is concerned. So in Nevada, there really isn't a black market. I mean, there might be a minor one. We do not see necessarily any competition in Nevada. I mean, all the tourists come in. Maybe some of the tourists might be getting something from a cab driver or like bellman or something like that. But it's not. I don't think it's necessarily affecting pricing at all. Not to mention, I mean, in Nevada, you have, you know, some of the most stringent testing in all of, you know, in all of cannabis. So at least those consumers are guaranteed that they're going to have the highest quality cannabis for what they're paying for. Mm-hmm. Now, I mean, if you're comparing it to California, there's a significant difference because there's so much product available and the prices are significantly less, that I do see how that could potentially come into play, because when you add in the taxes in California, which are fairly similar to Nevada, I mean, it almost would make more sense to go buy it, you know, from your buddy. Plus, it's everywhere. I mean, almost anybody in California has a friend that's probably grown cannabis or is currently growing it. Versus in Nevada, you know, it's regulated so well that really, I mean, you can't have an outdoor grow. I mean, you know, most likely you're going to get caught in Nevada versus everybody's doing it in California.
I see.
So in Nevada.
Right. So my understanding is that in California, the total tax burden to the consumer on top of what they used to be able to get it for from the black market is 40%. And alongside the very tough regulations and the testing side that just took effect July 1st this year, there's the sort of a convergence of this problem where the super high tax burden plus the fact that 80% of the growers going into the testing regime can't actually get through to the other side because they're not growing, they're not following the rules. And so all the dispensaries, I follow them, I go there regularly. I've noticed that dispensaries are down to like 20% of the range of supply that they used to have. And a lot of the patients who are sourcing medical cannabis for very specific medical reasons are finding themselves forced to go back to the black market because there's nothing available in the dispensary anymore, even at a 40% premium. So that problem for California is one where I say, okay, so supply is constrained by, you know, the fact that everybody's apparently been growing weed there forever using pesticides or whatever. And also, you know, the tax burden makes it very attractive to black market producers to continue to supply, especially when legitimate sources can't get through that testing regime.
Right. I mean, yeah, so they're getting hit. I mean, the consumers are getting hit on two fronts. I mean, one, there is the demand issue, obviously, for retail for legal cannabis. And then two, the guys that are producing it are struggling to pass testing. And so, I mean, that it's something that I've been telling, you know, we obviously deal with Canadian investors and stuff, and they're like, well, the market's going to be compressed in California. So last year I was telling them, you know, it's going to be the exact opposite because there isn't going to be any product available because everybody still has to figure out how to pass the test. So luckily in California, they haven't actually rolled that out yet. or they're not at least enforcing those regulations. So we haven't even really seen it, but you're right, there is a huge supply issue in California currently, and it's just about to get worse. And I have friends actually in Sacramento that have stores that have maybe one vendor on their shelf. So it's probably, maybe worse than 20%. It could be like 5% of what they had before.
Right.
So some guys are finding workarounds, and other guys just went out and bought a bunch of product from everybody to put on their shelves until the regulations hit. It just depends on how aggressive they want to be with their license.
Okay.
But it is, I like the opportunity for us because we obviously have a proven model. We're only used to operating in an environment with testing. So for us, we're excited for the challenge. But we use a company called 374 Lab to do all of our testing. And 374 went out last year and did they tested about 100 different companies, and they all failed.
Wow.
They were just doing some private testing to really see how bad it was. So that kind of gives you an idea of really how bad it is in California. There's a few players that are already figuring it out, but it is a moving target. In Nevada, testing changes all the time. So our tests are a little more stringent because not only are they testing for pesticides, they're also testing for mold spores and CFU count, but they don't even test for that in California. So realistically, Californians actually have it easier than they do in Nevada. So it's exciting for us that once we finally jump in, that we know how to do it the right way. And then once the guys actually figure out how to even make it work in today's environment in California, it's just going to get worse and more difficult for them. Then they have to adapt. And so when you make these changes, you're changing the plants and your environment, and it takes 6 months to make these changes. You got to cross your fingers that you're going to pass. And so it's not easy, and it's a huge gamble for the guys that have these, major operations. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens once the state actually starts testing for mold.
Right. Okay, Ray. You know what? I could talk to you for a long time. I'm impressed with your the fact that you guys are sort of leading growers in Nevada, and I'm going to propose to you that we're going to come down with a film crew and shoot your operation, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, please do. We welcome it.
Awesome.
Hope you guys enjoy that.
You bet. Okay, Ray, we're going to leave it there for now. I'm going to come back to you in 3 months' time and see how things are growing.
Awesome. Thank you, James. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ray. Bye for now. Interesting, eh?
Phenomenal.
Marijuana, it's interesting that these guys are actually way ahead of the curve. They're more stringent tests on cannabis in Nevada than California. 80% of the growers in California can't get through the test, and these guys are expanding. So this is my great hope for Golden Leaf, that it may be
What's
new
the ticker
days.
on the Golden Leaf?
GLH. We're going to go take a look at that symbol right now. Here it is. GLH. Now let's quickly pull up the, whoops. We want to look at the GLH, Golden Leaf. Let's see how much shares are out now. Whoa, there's the monster hand again.
Wow, look at this thing. Well, you know what though?
$159 million market cap, 579 million shares out. Now,
wow, that's a lot.
That guy, Ray Schiavone,
that's who we just heard from,
at Tahoe Hydroponics, they own 25% of the stock before this deal. I'm assuming that their deal is not in this shares out number.
Yeah.
Yet. But that's a huge number. Like, that's just, 580 million shares out. That's just like, how many dollars of revenue, how many dollars of profit you have to bring in before it even moves the needle on
to make
each share?
Even make a penny a share.
Yeah, I know. It's just,
I know.
This is why structure is so important. And, I think that the...
Someone just saying hello?
What? What's going on there?
I don't know.
Somebody's talking to you.
Hi, Edward.
Are you, do you have a Ouija board or something that you brought in, Ed? Like, what's going on?
What's going on?
I think your new computer might be all set up and ready for you now.
Yeah, but...
How did that happen?
Do I just think it and it works?
I think you just think it.
So if I say right now,
Let's pull up your bank
Let's play
account.
tink-tac.
Let's pull up your bank account.
Tic-tac-toe.
Try to edit that. Well, here we go. Look at that.
Okay, let's put up an X in the middle. I'm not putting up the 0. And then I'll be playing. I'll be playing with myself.
You'll be playing by yourself.
All right, let's put an X over that far corner.
Now what?
Put an X over here.
Now what?
That's good thinking.
Yeah. Now what?
I think this is a stymie. I'll put an X up on top.
Yeah. Well.
Now what?
Brilliant. No, it's a no-go. That's why this game is mindless.
Yeah, you know what?
It's for children.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Back to
reality. Let's put the $700 bottle of tequila away.
All right.
Because it's for El Presidente. Solamente El Presidente. Vamos a salud a México y Colombia. Y vamos a estar.
Sounds to me you just took over a power in one of these countries.
Well, you know,
you're getting a little.
I have this plan to, merge all of the countries in Latin America, and then we're going to build a wall along the northern border of Mexico, and we're going to make Donald Trump pay for it. No, just kidding.
Okay.
Donald Trump, he's got his own problems.
Yeah, we do. He does.
What else is going on in the world of cannabis? So it looks like we have a reversal on our hands here, Ed. Now, I want to try to figure out where this is going. But before we do that, we're going to go over here. Oh, there's a little tequila. We're going to go look at our YouTube channel to see who's there. And I'm also going to pull up the Facebook channel to see who's there. And let's see who's winning today. Right now, 68 watching on Midas Letter RAW. Rod. Yeah. Whoa, there we are. We don't want to hear ourselves. There's us watching you, us watching you. All right, Reefer Al. Now, I want to find the gentleman. There was a gentleman in here who said yesterday, hey, your signal's all choppy. Please go into the settings and set it back to normal latency, because that's what's wrong. So I did that, and now there's no problem. So whoever this individual was, kudos to you.
Oh, that was me.
You were right.
That was me.
That was you.
Under my special, because I'm a techie in my spare time, but nobody knows that.
Ah, that's interesting. So who was that? Whoever that was, please feel free to stand up here in the forum called the chat next to our thing. Take a bow, because to you we owe a debt of gratitude. This is the weird thing about the YouTube settings. It says normal latency or low latency. Now you would think, as a viewer, you'd want low latency, but it does something. Well, so that there's no delay between when we're saying something and when you see it.
Oh, that's what that means.
Yeah. New word of the day for Ed. Latency. What was the other one you liked that you didn't know? Diaspora.
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 Yeah. I'm going to look those up tomorrow, and I'm going to use them tomorrow.
You're going to come back with an answer? Let's see. Let's say hello to. I mean, there's actually now too many people to say hello to. But so hello to everybody on YouTube.
Okay, so
hello to everybody on Facebook.
I think we should look at those major companies in your main index, because those are the ones that look like are going to get partners. Partners. For instance.
Funny you should say that. I just happen to have those companies all listed here in a single. Watch this.
So are those the ones over $1 billion, over $500 million?
Watch this. Are you ready? Oh, is that all of my holdings up there on the screen?
Yeah.
And the MLCC index. Oops, Eve should not be in this list. Eve belongs to add row before. So we're going to put a row in there, because Eve does not belong in there.
What's the market cap of Organogram?
Organogram.
It's got one of the
OGI. There it is.
OGI up to 2%.
Let's see. OGI summary. Nope. Okay, let's pull up the fundamentals on OGI. Looks like we're going to have to go do that over on our Organogram. Organogram has been riding the lifting tide or the rising tide, lifting all boats. All boats be risen by the lifting tide, don't you know?
Yeah.
Market cap, $750 million. Shares out, 124 million. I would say, here's a metric that people don't often consider, but I would say market cap relative to shares out. Oh wait, that's called the share price. I guess that's not really a metric so much of it as it is just a...
That's just some, yeah.
But yeah, so these guys started catching the rising tide back in here, but interestingly enough, it seems to be prolonging for them in that they're one of the few companies that are up today. So now if we go look at the cannabis large cap index on midasletter.com/cannabis, if you want to see these indexes for yourself, we'll go full screen and look at that.
Look at this, that's from 5, that's 40%. That's a 40% move from the low trade down there near, what, 5,400 up to 9,400. I think that's 4,000.
Now let's look at the companies in this list.
Wow. That's
see how they're doing
That's
today.
like 90%.
Oh,
80%.
there's a little blood in the streets there, Ed. Look at that. They're all selling off. They're all giving back what they put on. So this is just a little bit of profit taking, right? We look at the same thing that happened when the first Constellation deal got done alongside the BMO.
I'd have to say, you know, the mistake you make as a bit of a rookie trading is that you think when it turns like a lot of corrections already happened, but there's so much power in this move right here, you know, up, sort of little bit of red action there, then up, another red day that looked kind of toppy, and then up, then a big gap. Yeah. That gap, you know, that's a good time to short. But now this trend is intact. You know, you can look at it, you can say that trend is intact because we have a bit of a tail here, and I don't like to short a big tail. No. You know, I like to short a big wick.
Big what?
Big wick. But not a big tail.
All right, so let's see. Who has not really participated in this big lifting of all boats? Oxley Cannabis got a big lift out of it, but it's starting to head back to its dismal territory.
You know what? If you would have shorted it, you know, it opened actually unched this morning at $1.19. I think it was down a penny. Immediately cascaded to the downside. And look at this, down 13%. That'd been, you know.
That's the biggest loser of the day on the large
no one's going to take out, well, I shouldn't say that. No one's going to take them out, but.
Take them out?
Like, take over.
Buy Oxley?
Yeah. Like, you'd say that's not going to happen.
Well, there's a lot of insanity in this universe, so you never know.
You never know. You should never say
here's something. Here's my problem with Oxley. Now, they are becoming producers in their own right, and they are achieving some distribution. But my problem with Oxley and why I don't have a great deal of faith in its future as a big performer in terms of absolute return on investment.
The structure.
Well, the structure, a third of the stock out was done below a dime.
Right.
So when you start there, you're already starting from a position of disadvantage. But their business model, the business model of being the streaming model, so it was, you know, it was called Cannabis Wheaton because it was based on the streaming model, or it was, at least that's what it meant to project, of the mining companies that were streamers, who basically go to a miner and say, we'll give you all this money, but you're going to sell us your weed at X% of whatever the going rate is. So if there happens to be a price war and the going rate for cannabis drops below where the floor pre-agreed in all those agreements is, guess who's not getting paid?
Oxley.
No, Oxley always gets paid. It's the guys who are growing the weed that don't get paid because they got to give it all to Oxley for free. But if they're making no money, guess what? They're going to go broke. They can't raise dough. Then who's Oxley going to get any money, any marijuana from? Now, I understand. I understand that Oxley is moving away from that model and becoming more of a grower and a diversified play. But they've got all those.
I'm amazed at how fast they can change the name of the company. They seem to be able to move things around pretty fast over there.
Yeah, well.
Oh yeah. By the way, did you see what got halted for some improper disclosure?
Isodiol.
That's the one that's paying out the horrendous consulting fees.
Yeah, $12 million to a family friend, to a family member.
Wow.
That's. I wonder if that had anything to do with the halt.
Well, I don't know. They didn't say. They just said the exchange said under the, you know, they have to.
They no longer qualify.
They don't. They're not following the rules. Anyway, that's interesting because that one I think has dropped more than any other one. And
let's pull up the symbol just for a laugh.
Okay,
not that we want to
ISOL.
Not that we want to, you know,
we're not trying to malign
somebody else's misery.
No, and we're not trying to, you know, we're not trying to pee on anyone's parade. But I look at this IROC trading halt.
Look at enter ticker symbols here. Boy, they really mastered that press release. Somebody at IROC fell asleep before they hit send. Reason: cease trade order. Cease trade order. That's bad. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Bad.
Okay, so reason: cease trade order. Why? Why?
Doesn't say why.
Because they've done something wrong.
Somebody done somebody wrong song? Well, they did something.
Okay, so let's put up. Let's take a look at the chart. I just want to make a point though. Okay, so you look at that chart. Okay, now this thing is. I mean, look at this. This is spectacular, right? Spectacular, and then we've had you know, and then but
from 250 to 1750.
I saw this thing move from 3 to 350, basically from here to here. You can't even notice it. Like that's how. So when you put it all in perspective, I mean, 3 to 350 is a big move, you know. But when you can't see the move,
yeah,
and now it's halted.
This thing went from 250 to 1750. Let's go back and look at the news in that period. So November, December. Let's see
what the news was.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting because here's why you don't buy rallies based on no news that make no sense.
Okay, you're still in. It looks like you're next. You got to go to next.
May 1st.
You're still in May.
Next.
Go to next again.
March.
Next.
January.
Okay, we're getting there.
Next. December 4th. Here's where it all got started. Binding agreement to acquire 25% of Canadian National Pharma Group. Yeah. Wednesday, December 6th. That was my birthday. Boy.
Do you know the president of this company?
No, but I know the former president of Mexico. No, I don't, but I'm hoping to. I did meet Troy Neiman. I did a podcast with him. Then we had a director join us, Amin Parmar, who was a very nice guy. And I resisted the urge to challenge them on the $12 million payout to the consultant who was a relative of the family of a board member.
Look at this, $30 million they raised.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who raised that money?
Oh, I guess I said dial.
Click on, yeah, but I know, but what brokers?
Okay, now it's that. Institutional investors such as Saruya Equity. Never heard of them.
Where do you see that? I can't.
Second paragraph, leading line.
Okay.
Yeah, this thing.
Wow.
So Marcos Agramol.
Yeah. Yeah, that's 604 number. And then there's
we give him a call right now and ask him what's going on.
To Carrie Booze.
Carrie Booze. That's a great name.
212. That's in New York, isn't it? 212?
Yeah. Okay, but let's call up Marcus Agramol right now and see if we can find out why his stock has been cease traded.
604. You gonna call?
Yeah, I'm gonna call him right now.
409.
1604.
Look at all the 4s, 0s, and 9s in that phone number. Holy smokes.
4409. Wow.
She's real fine, my 409. Remember that one? That used to be a size of it.
I tried to connect you.
Oh, it's a Google number. Nope. Little story about Jack and Diane. Two little kids growing up in the heartland. Is that song? And my vocals are way off. So we're trying to reach Marcus Agramol now, who's the CEO of Isodial, because we want to find out why the company was
No, I think he just
traded.
says he's a director. He just says...
No, it says CEO and director.
Oh, okay, you're right. Sorry, I stand corrected.
Let's go look at the website, see if there's any further explanation there. Oh, no, so far. You know Kathy Ireland.
Is that Kathy Ireland?
That's Kathy Ireland.
Come on.
Yep.
Holy smokes. She wouldn't be, they'd have to pay a bit of money to get her to do that, wouldn't you? Wow. Kathy Ireland. Jeepers.
Well, Kathy Ireland, you know, she's a former swimsuit model from Sports Illustrated.
Hi.
You know about this, Ed?
Hey. To the voicemail for Mike Palmer. No one is available to take your call. At the tone, please record your message. When you finish recording.
No answer at the company's IR number.
I wonder,
that's not a good sign.
We should call Peter Cunningham, because he knows just about everybody.
I don't think he'd appreciate it if we just sprang ourselves on him like this. Do you?
Okay, let's not do it.
Yeah, let's prearrange with him, because I'm pretty sure that he wouldn't even answer the call if he knew we were doing that. Anyways, so we also talked to a gentleman named Brian Peery today. He's president of SpeakEasy Cannabis, and this is what he had to say. Hey, welcome back. My guest in this segment is Brian Peery. He is the president of SpeakEasy Cannabis Club Limited, trading on the CSE under the symbol EASY. Hi, Brian. How's it going?
Morning. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, no, it's great. I love your symbol, EASY. That's awesome. Tell me, what does SpeakEasy Cannabis Club do?
So we're a collective of premium growers in BC. Right now, we've got a 10,000 square foot facility. We're into construction on an additional 80,000 square foot facility. And then come the spring, what we're going to be doing is planning another 60-acre, hopefully outdoor grow facility where we'll have a premium cannabis coming from the indoor space, and then we're going to use the outdoor space to do concentrates and oils. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So you're planning 2.6 million square feet of outdoor production area. That's massive. So is that like going to be for CBD, or are you going to grow flower out there too?
I think we're going to do a little of both. You know, what's going to wind up happening is the market's going to dictate eventually where that's going to wind up going. I think right now for us, our priority is to basically build it, make sure that we're doing premium cannabis, make sure that we've got all the operations in process. You know, we've got a great team of growers who've been in the farming industry for over 120 years. It's the family that built Sunripe, so we know what we're doing on the farming side. It's just a matter of time for us getting everything in position and getting all the right people in the right place. So we think that we will be able to do both CBD and high quality flower in the outdoor space. But it is going to be challenging, and 60 acres is quite a bit, but we think we can actually do more in the future years as well.
Well, okay, so tell me, how much money have you raised at this point?
To be honest with you, you'd have to talk to my CFO about that. I recently signed on, and we're going through all the books right now, and we have a board meeting to discuss what we've done and what the cash positions are. But I
see. So you've just joined the company as CEO.
Well, actually at the firm. So yeah, I'm actually working on the finance side and running the operational side. Mark is actually doing the grow side. So what we're doing is we're actually taking the company as kind of a two-headed approach, where Mark is focusing on the grow side, and I focus on the operational and the financing side.
Very interesting. Okay, so tell me, what are the catalysts that are going to happen in the next 12 and 24 months that are going to make you a contender? You have yet to receive a license at this point, is that correct?
That's correct. I mean, we've been waiting for Health Canada. The last kind of discussion we had with them was back in March, or May rather, and we haven't had any further input from them, so we're just essentially waiting on approval for the license. We think of this space in kind of two contexts. So there's going to be the premium market, which we think we have to be in the top 10% of that actual space to be able to sell any of the flower. If you look at the historical markets for Washington and Oregon and California, there's a lot of flower out there, and so if you're not in the premium space, it's going to be really difficult. So that's where we think we're playing there. In terms of what we can do in the outdoor space, I think we can actually set up a lot of distribution agreements with countries such as Brazil and Mexico and Uruguay, as well as the EU, to be able to transport CBDs to both Canada and internationally. Obviously, our primary focus is the Canadian market at this juncture, but we do have to look longer term and think of the international scope as well.
Okay, so is there any, I guess there's no reason to believe that the license will be delayed for any reason because you've submitted all of the, you know, the compliance packages and basically everything's up to snuff?
Yep, as far as we know, we're just waiting on approval, and we're just continuing what we're doing in the build out of the indoor space at this point.
Okay, so in the meantime, the company's been signing MOUs and LOIs. I see you've got an LOI with Valens GroWorks, who is one of our portfolio companies of clients, and an MOU with Herbamedica to export cannabis to Germany. That's so those relationships are kind of going to open the door for you in terms of global distribution, I guess.
Yeah, and I think that those are just the kind of the beginning of it. I think that the EU expansion, I think you can expect to see some Latin American expansion from us, as well as potentially an Israel kind of connection. So I think that there's a lot of opportunities on an international side. What we need to do is make sure that we're focused domestically first and doing everything we need to do here before really worrying about that stuff, because I honestly believe that if we can produce the cannabis that we think we can, then there's going to be, the demand is going to come from all over the world seeking our product.
Sure. Okay, great. Well then, in terms of the 2.6 million square feet, is that all going to be greenhouse, or is that just open air growing?
That's open air outdoor. So what we've done is we've taken the greenhouse kind of out of the equation. So we think that we can do really high quality premium indoor space, and then we don't want to play in the greenhouse space at all. We actually think that we can do the outdoor in a concentrate market. So we know that we can do that. We think we can grow really high quality flower out of the outdoor side as well. And so we'll have both the THC and hopefully the CBD markets in that outdoor grow space.
Okay, that's a great introduction, Brian. We're going to leave it there. We'll come back to you in due course. We'll keep our eyes peeled for your license, and wish you the best of luck. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. Appreciate your time today.
Wow, look at the technology that we've got here.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
What did you think of Brian Peery, though?
Phenomenal.
SpeakEasy Cannabis Club. It's going to be interesting. They've got to get a license. But Brian Peery, you know, there's one of the interesting facts that didn't come out in that was that Brian Peery was a portfolio manager with Hennessy Funds of San Francisco, who oversaw in excess of $3 billion in assets. Can you believe that?
$3 billion.
$3 billion. So the guy's got some money behind him. They're going to grow 2.6 million square feet of cannabis outside. Outside.
Outside?
Yeah, outside in Rock Creek.
In California?
No, BC, Rock Creek, British Columbia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's going to be one of the first outdoor grows. Let's see if that happens. This could be interesting because they're predicting $1.75, industry average of $1 to $1.75 per gram of greenhouse product and $2 per gram or more for indoor. And they're projecting, they're not projecting a price cost, but they're saying to be roughly 1/4 of the current costs. So basically 50 cents a gram at the most.
Do you get the sense that in this world of cannabis that the prices are going to come down?
The price of cannabis?
Yeah, like the price of...
It's got to come down. I'm going to download one more.
And I'm not following it as kind of, you know, you being more of a fundamental guy, you're following all these machinations much closer.
Yes.
Like how low could the price of pot go? I mean, could they be giving it away? Could they just start up big bonfires and burn it because they got?
Well, here's the funny thing about cannabis.
We could sit by and
it grows wild in the ditches of Nebraska. It can be found in its natural glory, growing on the slopes of the Kilimanjaro.
How about can you find it in Timbuktu?
Timbuktu, I don't know what the climate's like in Timbuktu, and I've never been there, so I can't answer that. Anyways, we have to download...
Is that Nepal? Timbuktu?
No, Nepal is Nepal. Timbuktu is...
Where is Timbuktu?
Timbuktu, research, where's Timbuktu?
I think it's in Nepal.
New tech, NDI tools, here we go. NDI studio monitor, scan converters.
Is that your new computer?
This is your new computer, Ed. I'm just getting it all set up here for you.
You're just playing with it.
Yeah, I'm just playing with it. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, where do we download? Oh, it is already on here. Okay, so all we have to do is go and open Scan Converter, desktop. Let's hope it's on the desktop. Downloads, picture.
I see the laptop right now.
Here,
Oh, you do? Okay.
You want the mouse?
So let's go to there. Okay, put Ed's chart up to show him what he can do. Now, Ed, draw some pictures on that.
All right, let's just...
Whoa, look at that guitar.
Okay,
There's you.
Okay.
So now tell me, Ed, tell me a little bit, like outside of the Bollinger Bands.
The obvious thing here...
You have to click on the actual scribble pen.
Click on it. Click on it.
Whoa.
Now what?
Now what?
Okay.
There's no lines.
No lines.
What's going on? Suzanne, come in and give a quick tutorial. Here's Suzanne. Round of applause for Suzanne.
Suzanne.
Actually, the camera is looking right at your bum right now. I'm
Sorry,
sure you don't
guys.
want that.
Okay.
Well,
The audience, I'm sure, is titillated.
Because it works on everything else.
yeah.
Doesn't work on this program?
No. It
No.
works if you go, because there's supposed to be a little pen option up here. Because remember, I was writing on it.
Right.
It's not allowing you on full screen.
Okay, well, it's something we got to figure out.
We're going to figure it
Play
out.
around with
But we want to tell
Thanks,
the viewers...
Suzanne.
Thanks, Suzanne. We
Thank
want
you,
to,
Suzanne.
We
So
want to
back
tell
to
the
my
viewers
computer.
that I won't be walking up there like I'm on the catwalk. What I'll be doing is I'll be doing a little action right here, drawing lines in. That definitely looks like a breakout move. I got to tell you.
Look at this. They're having a conversation on our quote stream that has nothing to do with us. Like they're talking about Kush bottles.
Who?
Everybody on the chat room on YouTube.
Well, maybe at least one thing we've done is created a forum for people to get together,
I know.
like-minded people.
Hey, Glenn Treef says, bonjour, Suzanne. Did you see that? Boy, look, there goes the
I
guitar.
think tomorrow is going to be a big up day.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Tomorrow's going to be a big... One day of correction, that's it?
Well, one day, because I think before this moves over, it's got to test it. Look, I could be wrong, but let's say we get a big up day tomorrow, then a down day, then an up day, and after a while of up and down, then it maybe it rolls over.
Okay, I'm going to bring one thing back here for you.
Okay.
Just because I want to get clear on this, because I think, and I'm going to tell you I'll tell you what, I'm taking a chunk of money and I'm going to buy Canopy. And people are saying, why are you buying Canopy? What are you going to do? See a double out of that?
Yeah, but you're looking at the big boy. You want the big boy.
Well, I am looking at weed here, and look at this little correction here. Now, even at $55, if I put a, let's call it 100 grand in, 55 bucks, and it goes to $100. I mean, that's almost just shy of a double. And I think it could go to $100, and that's why I'm putting money in. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling what I'm doing. I'm going to buy. Oh, wait a sec. I don't think I can buy Canopy. I signed an NDA. Damn. I was all excited there. I just realized. Soft.
Look at this. Look at these moves, though. Look at this. From 44 or 48, 46.
Yeah.
44, 40. Down to 20 something, almost cut in half, and then slow process. Then we had a new high, which I thought might have been a fake out because it immediately failed, and then all the way back to 30, and then we double bottomed here. And look at this thing. Just as people were saying, this thing is we're getting ready to get crushed. Constellation Brands had a different idea. They said, we know something that nobody else knows, and we're going to make it obvious today. And look at this move. 32 to 62, creepers. Liquidity.
Yeah.
Look at that move.
Okay, but let's take a look at this. Look back here. This is when Constellation Brands threw in the first 200 million and bought 10% of the company.
Where?
Right here, January.
Okay.
And then there was a $200 million bought deal by BMO. Right in here.
Right.
That catalyzed. This was another series of days where all boats were lifted by the rising tide. Everything was green.
Yeah.
And look what happened. It traded outside of the Bollinger Bands. Let me throw up the Bollinger Bands.
Throw up the Bollingers.
Let's go Bollingers here because it's interesting because this only bears out the theory that when it trades outside of its Bollinger Bands, it is going to go back inside.
Yeah, and that's not, you know, like that's riding this is called riding the band because it's really hugging that top band.
Oh. We interrupt our regular scheduled broadcasting to bring you to this special message. Tilray earnings just came out. Ah! Let's go see what they got.
Well, let's see if there's any action here.
There's you watching me, watching you, watching me, watching you, watching me. Wait, where are the earnings? Ah! Can't find them. Let's see here.
I'm just going to do something here.
I'm going to go
now,
to the news.
Is this your screen act independent to my screen? How does that work?
News. Let's pull up Tilray. Well, actually, they'll be on separate channels.
Separate channels.
Yeah, so that they'll be able to pull up either my screen or your screen. Oh, here it is, Tilray. Q2 loss of 12.8 million. Boy, oh boy, this is interesting.
Let's see that. 2Q, okay.
Dow Jones. More to follow. Okay, so somebody's reading this. You know where to go to read this? Because they have to file it on CDAR first. CDAR, Tilray. Or will it be the SEC?
So Tilray had nine and change revenue, and they lost. I wonder where they're breaking.
Oh, it's not on. It's not on there. Okay, so let's go see if it's on the SEC.gov. See if it's on old Edgar there. It's company filings. Tilray. Here we go. Here we go. Current report 8K, 8K, 8K. Well, what the hell? It's not here either. So where are their filings released?
What I'd like to do is get a chart, a quote on Tilray.
Tilray, investors, press releases. Oh, here it is right here. Okay. Second quarter earnings. Okay, so revenue increased in the second quarter to 95.2% to $9.7 million in the second quarter and 75.2% to $17.6 million in the first half of 2018. Tilray cannabis products now available to patients in 11 countries. The company has signed agreements to supply adult use. Okay, well let's look at let's look at some of the more pressing metrics. Average selling price per gram increased from $6.20 to $6.38. Can't talk right now, doing a show.
That's US, so that's 812 to 836, okay. So that's a gram. So if I want to buy 10 grams, that's 80 bucks.
Yeah, okay, so...
What's like if I want to buy a couple pounds?
You mean, is there a volume discount? You're not allowed to buy that much under the medical regime. Net loss for the quarter was $12.8 million compared to $2.4 million for the Q2 of 2017.
So as they're selling more product, they're losing more money.
Yeah.
But that's only going to go.
But there's also the expense of going public on NASDAQ in there, which is not going to be unsubstantial.
Right.
So let's pull up.
Put up a chart. I want to see what pull up a quote on it.
Okay, here it is. It's only been trading for.
Is it?
There it is.
I want to see if it's yeah, okay, but that I want to know what I want to see a quote on.
What do you mean?
Well, like a bid and ask. I want to see a bid and ask.
Oh well. So let's go market depth. How about that? Market depth, time and sales. There we go. Bid 53.75. Ask 53.88.
Is that up or down from the close?
Okay,
that's where we're trading.
That's down 2%.
2%, 70 cents.
But in the context of a day when everything's bleeding.
No, but I'm not so sure. I thought it closed around 52.
No.
No.
Well, this is the aftermarket trading now.
Yeah. So that's where it's trading. But I don't know where it closed at 4. That's what I'm trying to find out.
Closed at 4. Well, we'll have to look at our old 416. Yeah, we can just go to Midas Letter for that. And no, we don't want that one. We want this one. Oh, isodial. Shit the bed. Oh well.
I'm not looking up anything other than quotes, people. Just saying.
TLRY.
It's up. It's up in the aftermarket. See, it closed at 51.50, and it's now trading at 53.10.
Yeah.
So it's up $1.60 in the aftermarket.
Yeah.
After being down $1.94. So,
Yep.
so that's construed. I think people are not looking at the loss. They're looking at the
Growth.
large increase in revenue, which is what you have to look at. And I guarantee if the revenues went sideways, this thing would have gotten pounded.
Okay, so now
That's an interesting observation, James. Very good.
now the market cap 4.7 billion. So it's still double the market cap from when it went public. 4.7 billion. Now you're selling how much marijuana per year, and you've got a and you're losing 12 million.
Well, you remember there's a lot of costs associated with going public.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's I think there's a one-off there.
Okay.
But I mean, look, you know, we saw the revenues skyrocket and the losses skyrocketed even more.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Okay, but X of the cost of going public.
Skyrocketed.
No. Skyrockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
You got a much better voice. Okay. So we agree. Yeah, I think we're going to see. Listen, the 51.50. That's where it closed.
Yeah.
But right now the aftermarket's 53.10 to 53.60.
Hold on, I got to take this call. This is the XDEA Asian Special Enforcement of the. Never mind. Hey, Matt, how you doing? I'm fantastic, thanks. Are you in the city? For tomorrow. I made a mistake. It's for tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, really? Yep. Oh, is that right? Okay.
Are we still in the air?
Yes, we are.
Just wondering.
Let me call you back in 20 minutes.
Don't want to interfere with your calls.
Okay. Yeah, I was mistaken. I thought Vicente was today. I thought you were today. I thought it was all today, and then I realized, oh no, I'm talking Wednesday. But that's when all of our gear is here, is tomorrow, and all the crew and everything. But let me call you back in 10 minutes because we're just wrapping up a show here.
He's not kidding.
Okay, I'll call you back. Let me call you back. Bye. Oh, yes. So Vicente Fox, dinner tomorrow night.
Really?
I didn't get an invite. He just told me there was a dinner. But now he's told me they better give me an invite. Porque yo hablo español perfectamente. ¿Y ellos? Well, los colombianos, sí, por supuesto, pero los otros, la gente de aquí, no. Creo que no.
How do you like this? We didn't talk about the junior gold companies that we're following. We got pounded in Silcom and Iron today, down 3.5. And it's almost touching the bottom Bollinger Band now. That got up to 57 cents. Ouch.
Ed, you know what? We're going to talk to Jeremy Stepak here as the CFO of Green Tank Technologies, and that might take us out of the show. However, we'll come back and say goodbye to everybody.
Is that Green Tech?
No, Green Tank Technologies.
That's you could almost say the same. It almost sounds the same.
This company is funded by the guys from Green Acre Capital and Casa Verde Capital. You know who Casa Verde Capital is? Snoop Dogg.
53.30, 38. That's up, folks. Okay. So look at. So are we going to be? Is this show done? Do you think, for all intents and purposes?
No. Roll Jeremy. Hey, welcome back to Midas Letter Live. My guest in this segment is Jeremy Stepak. Is that correct?
That's right.
He is the CFO of Green Tank Technologies. Jeremy, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
And tell me, what does Green Tank Technologies do?
Yeah, so Green Tank at its core is we design, develop, and manufacture high-quality premium vaporization hardware for the cannabis space.
Did you bring any samples?
No.
Damn.
But I knew that was going to come up. Absolutely. And we talked about it, but no, not on this segment.
I guess we're just a little shy of October 17th, so it's probably a good idea that you didn't. Plus, I tend to become much less conversational after I imbibe.
Well, I can't speak to that. It depends on whatever you're using. But we don't touch the plant. We just make the hardware.
Cool. So you did a $4.3 million seed round back in March.
Yep.
And you have a sister company, We Connect, spelled very cleverly, Cannect.
Yeah.
And so what is the nature of, Casa Verde, that's Snoop Dogg's operation.
It is.
I was up with Snoop Dogg in Smiths Falls this past weekend. That's great. And wow, okay, so you've got a real business developing here. I can tell just by the little Coles notes here.
Yeah.
So tell me, what are the big catalysts that are going to happen in 12, 24 months that launch your company into the stratosphere and take your investors with you?
Nice and ambitious. Well, it's a good little story we've built up. We've been really proud of the company so far. I think the next 12 to 24, you know the landscape. You see how quickly it's changing. It's changing every day. So for us, we've been live for 2 years almost.
Okay.
It's a young company, but founded in 2016. Private and growing. We're working with over 100 brands in the U.S. today. I think the biggest catalyst will be what happens obviously south of the border, state by state, as different states turn on rec. And then, no surprise, what's going to happen here come October and then 12 months from October. For our business, the big thing will be when vapes go live, right? So vapes don't go live right away. First phase of recreational happens in October with flower and pre-rolled joints.
Sure.
And other items. But phase 2, with concentrates, and when vapes roll out live, that's going to be a big catalyst for us.
How'd you get Casa Verde involved?
It just sort of, the way the power of the network, the power of the story. The guys went out, so I've only been with the company for just over 3 months. The company was founded by two brothers, CEO and COO. And the company was self-funded, doing really, really well. Went out for about $500,000 of growth capital, and the story was so well received on the street that it just started making its way to the right people. So had some notable investors that are cannabis investors in Toronto and then in Canada. Then Greenacre Capital stepped up. I'm sure you know them.
Sure do.
And then it, through there it extended and found its way to the guys in California, and they just love the story. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so then what are the big things that are going to happen in your timeline to really launch the thing?
Yeah, so right now, like I said, it's we raised the seed funding. We've barely touched it, which is really fortunate. Even before I came on board, the guys were really prudent about managing the capital, but also growing the business.
Right.
17 was a great year. 18 is going to look to double that. So it's growing healthy.
Right.
But with everything we're seeing, honestly, Jim, in product innovation, where we have to be to power our LP brand partners and turn on their projects, we need to keep an eye towards growth.
Right.
So we'll look to raise again, but right now the business is really managing in a healthy state.
So just to be devil's advocate,
Sure.
And because you are sort of indirectly family related, kind of, I do tend to beat up on the near and dear more because I like to challenge them. But so, is this a case where if the government never decides to legalize vapes, that you don't have a business, or are you going to use the capital you've got to diversify and de-risk the whole strategy thereby? Or are you just going to focus on vapes and count on the fact that the government will at some point legalize vapes?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. Vapes are a huge part of the market, right? So we don't foresee it, but you always have to play devil's advocate and you have to be prudent. We're live right now with, like I said, over 100 brands in the U.S. In the 9 rec states that are in the U.S. So our core business is in the United States today. Okay. And a lot of people will ask us, are you going to be a global business? Can you go here? Can you go there? The beauty of what we do, we don't touch the plant, and the hardware is really usable in any market where cannabis is taking hold, right? So it can be used medicinally. The big use is recreational, and as the states grows, we'll grow with it. We don't foresee Canada not turning it on, but you're right, we have to keep an eye on that, and so if that doesn't happen, we go for the low-hanging fruit, which is in the U.S., and keep an eye on other markets.
I just noticed that somebody put a list of questions in front of me here, and I'm wondering where they came from. Is that somebody new here? I don't do lists of questions.
They came from me. I slid them across the desk when you weren't looking.
Okay, that's hilarious. I'm like, oh, who are these questions for? Oh, they look like questions that I'm supposed to ask. That'll never happen. Anyways, okay, so We Connect, what's the relationship there?
Yeah, it's a sister company, 100% owned by the Topco. It's a media platform, basically. So, as the company was forming up, as you can imagine, young company getting a great product into the market, a big part of our business is trade shows. So we're out in the market telling people about the product and about the story, and the more we get into the market, we notice there's a bit of a gap. There's a gap for a company that can connect, basically on a business-to-business level. There's a big demand to know who's out there and who's doing what, but there's no one platform that synthesizes it all, puts it all in one place, really kind of brings everybody together. So WeConnect was designed to be sort of the, I don't want to say the LinkedIn of, but as a platform to really bring together, you know, the cannabis industry on more of a B2B side.
Oh, that's interesting. And so is that a subscription-based model?
Today it's free.
Okay.
You know, the view, as you would imagine with any media company, get out there, build the name, let people know, get awareness going. The reception to it's been great. I think there's over 1,200 active users today.
Right.
Like the user base is bigger, but just, you know, actively engaged users who are really on the platform. But the anecdote, you know, when we go out to these shows and you talk to the user base, the anecdotal reception has been like just tremendous, right?
Okay.
And we've got everybody on there from, you know, big LPs to small dispensaries, right? It's a whole spectrum.
So what do the economics of the vape business typically look like, and how do you differentiate yourself within that matrix?
Yeah, so I mean, there is now more competition in it than there was even 2 years ago, right? There's only, I think, a couple companies that are out there really putting out a premium quality product, and we'd like to count ourselves in that category. There is also a lot of sort of knockoff, you know, manufactured in Asia with not the emphasis on quality control that we put, right? So there's healthy margins on the business. They're not, you know, they're not crazy. You have to keep an eye on it. We manufacture in Asia. You know, there's currency. There's a few different variables, but because the demand has been strong, because particularly in the U.S. and, you know, we've been lucky that way. We're able to manage the business and get some foresight into it. But to run the business like any other young company, you keep an eye on healthy gross margin, and you keep an eye on OpEx as you grow.
Okay, so what was your last financial statement like in terms of profit?
No, I can't do that one.
No?
No, I keep those ones close to the chest.
Oh, okay, so you're not a public company yet?
No, we're private.
Oh,
Yeah.
a private company.
Yeah.
Well, that's really interesting.
I almost was like, I should definitely share that, but no, that's the beauty of being on the private side in cannabis.
I'm looking at the information here, and I'm like, oh, so this is an operating company. Why aren't there financials in front of me? But that makes sense. You're a private company.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you going public?
Can't tell you how many times people have asked me that, and we've definitely had the overtures, of course. You see what's happening in the space. I wouldn't rule it out of the plan for sure, like sort of the more mid to long term plan. But it's right now. I think we do what our investors like to hear we do, which is we're private. We're going to stay that way just so that we can focus on building the business really, really well.
Are you making money?
We are. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to share too much, but you know, we're revenuing. There's good cash flow, but again, you know, young company, you got to balance cash flow positivity with the design and the desires for growth. So, you know, we look at both lenses, but the company's in a really good spot.
Okay. Your relationship with Haiku Brands, are you sort of, because of this interconnectivity, are you basically plugged into all their locations potentially?
As of now, that has not come up. We know the guys well. You know, we've got good relationships with a number of people in the space, including some people at Haiku. But yeah, from a partnership perspective, you know, nothing's been examined down that path just yet.
Okay, so there's really not an opportunity for our viewers to participate in this at this point.
From a financing perspective, not yet. No,
Okay.
no. We'd love to get the support, but as of right now, just being where we are now.
Then you've got what looks like to me a differentiated core technology. In fact, it's called True Taste's Ceramic Core Technology. And I'm judging, and this is my willing opportunity to run gladly to humiliation, which is a philosophical concept I support. True Taste Ceramic Core Technology sounds like the whole idea with a great vape is not to burn the oil, but to warm it gently until it vaporizes without destroying any of the terpene THC profile bits and pieces.
So if this job doesn't work out, you'll come work in our product team, which is fine. You know more than most.
Okay.
Yeah, the basics of what you're saying is exactly what the company was built on.
Okay.
The company actually was founded. So, like I said, two brothers. The CEO is our hardware guru originally. You know, he comes from 6 years of e-cigarette technology experience. So he actually founded the company on the moment of being. He was at a wedding in Aspen in Colorado, and Colorado had just gone live with rec, and he saw all these boomers on the dance floor vaping, but they're vaping with poor, sort of outdated e-cigarette technology. They're trying to vape cannabis oil. It's leaking. It's a bad experience. Burnt oil, all that, right? So that's exactly what I think we bring to the table. That's how the company got started. That was the genesis of it, right?
Well, it's interesting. So the analog for this company, and perhaps the analog for the growth trajectory, would be Namaste Vapes, or Namaste Technologies now, who started off as exclusively as actually a vendor of vapes online and not a manufacturer of vapes. So, I mean, if we were to look at the sort of progress of that company and where you guys are at now, it looks like a pretty likely proposition.
Yeah, I mean, we know the Namaste guys well. Have a relationship with them.
Oh, great.
Yeah, they're great. I mean,
Do you sell your vapes on their platform?
We think we do have one device on their platform. Yeah, we do. But our model is B2B. So the core of what we do is working with brands. Now in the U.S., we're turning on LP supply agreements in Canada as well.
For preloaded vapes.
Yeah, exactly, for rec. But the core of what we do is powering our brand partners' brands on our hardware. Right?
Interesting. So are you committed philosophically as a company to remain divorced from touching the plant?
I mean, listen, this industry changes all the time. You wouldn't commit to anything. It's a changing landscape.
Right.
But I think in the short to midterm, we're not married to being, we're not married to being divorced from the plant or not plant touching. But we want to focus on what we do best, right?
Well, there are so many puns in that.
I know. As I was saying them, I'm like, oh, he's going to jump all over this.
Married to being divorced. Married. Wow. Never mind. Anyways, it sounds like a really interesting idea. I wish that somebody had sent me an invitation to the seed investment round, because I would have participated just based on this conversation.
Well, the good news for you is that the Series A, it's on its way.
Oh.
Like I said, with the capital is being managed well, but because of the opportunity in the industry, because of the product innovation pipeline that we are staring at, that is there's some things that are coming out that are going to be great because of the growth prospects, because of the capital in the space as well. It's a good time. So we're going to be heading out to do our Series A kind of in the back quarter of the year.
Perfect.
So you will be now on the list of people that we reach out to.
Excellent. Yeah. I'm on the CFO's list.
Exactly. A very, very, very short list.
Okay, awesome. All right, Jeremy. Well, that's a great introduction to the company. Sounds like you guys really have it put together. We're going to follow with interest and wish you the best of luck. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks a lot, man.
So that looks like another hell of a deal. Just before we close out the show, tomorrow is our 50th. Our 50th, not our 50th anniversary, but our 50th Midas Letter RAW with me and Ed. So this is 50 shows. And our guest of honor tomorrow is going to be Vicente Fox, the former president of Mexico. And we'll be talking to him either here or at a office close by. We're not sure about that.
And we're at an establishment that specializes in fine food and drink.
That could be too. Anyways, so yeah, just so you know, in the aftermarket, Tilray is up 350. So looks like
about 350, about 340.
The market is liking the financials and
I suspect it likes to see the growth.
Yeah,
the growth in revenue.
So yeah, keep your eye on Tilray.
Tilray, if this trend continues, you probably watch it till 6 o'clock.
Bob's your uncle. Anyways, that's our show for today. So come back tomorrow and watch. And don't forget to like us on YouTube or Facebook and sign up for the Midas Letter subscription newsletter. And you're going to get our stock picks starting in October, only for subscribers.
Okay.